So you'll notice in the film that, you know, the scenes with in the most hostile environments for Jean have the softest, most kind of welcoming, enveloping color palettes. And then
Hi, Georgia. Hi, Rosy.
Hi.
Yes, thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to talk to you both, and congratulations on your director debut. And congratulations, Rosy. This is your first big protagonist, right? So
Yes.
So I'm gonna start with you, Georgia. What was like the inspiration for the script, and why did you want to tell this story from the point of view of for the main protagonist?
Well, I was looking to tell a story about certain themes that are in the film, internalized homophobia being one, and the way that I think we're sort of led to believe that when you come out as a queer person, you come out once and then your life changes. But my experience was that it was more of a kind of day-to-day evolution, and that coming out is actually more of a kind of frequent occurrence than you might think. And so I was talking a lot about those things with the producer Hélène, and around that time I found out about Section 28, which is provides the backdrop for the film, this law that said it was illegal to promote homosexuality in schools and local governments. And it seemed like an opportunity to look at these themes that I was really interested in, and to channel some of my own life experiences, but through the lens of somebody else's life, through the lens of a particular moment in time and a particular group of people. So we set about trying to track down PE teachers, lesbian PE teachers who had worked at that time, and we collaborated very closely with them. And they shared their stories with us, their diary entries, their research, photographs from the time, that kind of thing. So yeah, the film is inspired. Jean is fictional, but it's inspired by a collection of real women's stories, and that I felt gave me a freedom as a writer who'd not written a full-length film before, to sort of frame my story around their experiences, but to channel a lot of my own experience and feelings into it as well.
Yeah, the subject, like the theme, is very accurate, because we still see this type of situations that happen. It's still happening nowadays. So now I'm gonna go to you, Rosy. How did you approach your character, and what was your first reaction when you read the script?
I can't believe I didn't know about Section 28 was my first reaction. Secondly, like, God, what amazing writing was my other reaction. And I guess, like any character, and I'm sure lots of actors feel this, but it's usually about something very quickly aligns with a character when you know you want to play them. It's sort of instinctual, something alights in you that you feel like is in sync with the other character. And if that's completely on track, then you sort of build everything else around it, their life experience, what they like to eat, everything she would have read, every music she would have listened to, sort of what her biggest fears were, what are the things that make her laugh, and you sort of start to slowly put the jigsaw puzzle piece together. But ultimately you always come back to that very simple connection with what aligns in you and what aligns with them, because that's the most authentic bit, I guess.
Yes, Georgia, the movie is called Blue Jean, but I'm wearing blue as well. So, but what the blue is not just referring to the color, right? It's also referring to what Jean is feeling. Why did you decide to go in this route for the title and for the colors of the movie as well?
The title actually doesn't come. Well, the title came from a piece of lesbian slang that we found during research, which was that, you know, in gay bars at the time, you'd have all of this different terminology, some of which has become kind of extinct now. But one of those pieces of terminology was that you could define yourself as being, or you could identify as being, a blue jean femme. And that was specifically a lesbian woman who identified as being feminine, but who preferred to wear blue jeans than stereotypically feminine clothing. So the title came from that, and I sort of lost along the way exactly, when we made that decision. But the color palette was a whole other conversation, and I guess I was trying to always use, it's a very internal story, and so we had to use what we could to kind of allow the audience a window into what's going on underneath for Jean, and obviously a huge part of the audience understanding what she's going through and why she's motivated to do different things is down to Rosy's brilliant performance. But we attempted to use the tools available through cinematography and mise-en-scene and color palettes to allow the audience another way in, and a lot of that is to do with what happens with the character when she moves between these spaces. How does she feel? How are her levels of anxiety? Can she be herself? Can she be, is she a closer version of herself to herself, or is she further away from herself in those moments? And so you'll notice in the film that the scenes with in the most hostile environments for Jean have the softest, most kind of welcoming, enveloping color palettes, and then the scenes often that are more kind of inviting and less hostile for Jean are imbued with these kind of blue tones that again kind of underscore the emotional landscape of the character.
So beautiful, and it's amazing what you did there with the color. Love it. So I'm gonna go to you, Rose, again. What was like work with Lucy and Kerrie? Both are like super wonderful actresses and so powerful, the scenes that you guys are together.
Yeah, they're amazing. I felt very lucky. I felt very, very lucky because you are only as good as the people that you act opposite. And they were both very brave actors, and I think that always excites me because I know that whatever direction I perhaps decide to take a line in, or they take a line in, neither of us are afraid to take it even further. So every time we started a scene, I never quite knew where it was going to end up, and we very naturally fed off each other, which is huge, because the thing about filming is that you sort of do someone's close up and then do someone else's close up. So in a way, you're kind of acting individually. So you kind of need some very special actors who remind you it's not about you, it's about the conversation that you're having, and it is ultimately just listening and responding. So I felt very grateful for them to have that natural ability.
Yeah. Did you learn about something about yourself playing Jean?
Yeah. Oh God, yes. I think I learned to step more into my androgyny as a person. I've always felt like I had to be very feminine to be accepted, because that's the sort of binary world that I grew up in, and Jean sort of reminded me that I have so much comfort and freedom in not identifying, not in a official sense, but perhaps by the way I dress, or just not feeling like I have to wear loads of makeup and look really nice all the time. That I can just feel free in my most authentic self, and I will carry that with me forever.
That's great. And Georgia, what was like your biggest challenge?
Oosh.
I know everything's a challenge.
Biggest challenge. Yeah, I mean, everything's a challenge. I mean, what was my biggest challenge? I don't know. Maybe stamina. When we were shooting, it was very intense. We were told by the first AD that most shoots have at least 3 days in the middle somewhere where there's a kind of lull in the schedule, and if you've not managed to make the day every day, you can catch up later on. And he just said right at the beginning, he was like, you don't have any space at all, like there's none. And when it's your first feature and you're working with a big team and lots of supporting artists and quite a big cast and lots of locations, that's not a very ideal scenario to be finding yourself in. And I feel like I tend to try to like give a lot of myself, honestly. And I think Rosy does the same thing in her work. And we could be talking about you know, an interview like what we're doing now, or the work that we were doing on set there. But I feel like both of us have a tendency to like really give ourselves to the process, and to maintain that level of kind of when you're giving so much of yourself away all the time, to maintain that throughout a long period of time is quite challenging, and something that I will have learned quite a lot from that experience, because I'd only obviously made short films before. That's quite a boring answer, but yeah, that was the main challenge, I think.
Amazing. I just want to thank you so much for your time, both of you. A lot of success. The movie is really good. I really enjoy, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice
Have a great day.
Bye-bye. If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.